Why are young men struggling today? Test scores are falling, jobs are harder to keep, college feels out of reach. More men are leaving the workforce, families notice, communities feel the change. The question is bigger than numbers. It's about a generation falling behind, step by step. Education, where the gap begins. The problems for young men start early. By the time children reach the first years of school, the gap between boys and girls is already visible. Studies show that boys are less likely to meet expected benchmarks in reading and writing, while girls pull ahead in overall academic readiness. As students move through school, the divide grows. A large majority of children identified with special education needs are boys, and when major exams arrive, girls consistently achieve stronger pass rates. By the time students reach higher education, the difference is striking. Across advanced economies, about 54% of women enroll in university or other tertiary programs, compared to just 41% of men, according to OECD data. This matters because degrees still play a powerful role in shaping careers and earnings. Women are graduating in greater numbers, and that advantage is steadily reshaping the labor market. Alternative education paths. For some young men, the traditional classroom has never been the right fit. Nick Cato from North Carolina is a good example. He always liked working with his hands, fixing, building, being outdoors. Reading was fine, but sitting in a classroom left him restless and unfocused. He thought about college but didn't have the grades. After bouncing between jobs in delivery and auto repair, he came across a TikTok about ADTC, a school in Ohio that trains people in skilled trades. The pitch was simple but powerful. 6 weeks of HVAC training in Indianapolis, free housing, numbered tuition, with future employers covering costs. Cato signed up, graduated, and now works full-time as an HVAC technician, earning $22 an hour with benefits and a path for growth. For him, it's the best job he's ever had. Prime-age men and the workforce. While education matters, the deeper crisis shows up later in life. Jason Furman, who chaired President Barack Obama's Council of Economic Advisors, noticed something troubling in 2015. Even as the U.S. economy recovered from the Great Recession, the employment rate of prime-age men, those between 25 and 54, kept sliding. Back in the 1950s, about 98% of men in this age group were working or looking for work. By 2016, it had dropped to 88%. This wasn't about men staying home to help with children. Data showed most of these men didn't have working spouses, nor were they spending more time on childcare or household chores. What united many of them was low education and disconnection from stable jobs. Richard Reeves, author of Boys and Men and founder of the American Institute for Boys and Men, argues that too little attention has been paid to this long-term decline. The AIBM's motto is, "Keep it boring," meaning the focus should stay on solid research rather than culture war debates. Without serious engagement, Reeves warns, a vacuum opens that populist politicians and manosphere influencers quickly fill, offering frustrated men simplistic solutions: work, wages, and shifting economies. The workplace that earlier generations of men relied on has changed dramatically. In the 1970s, a large share of jobs came from manufacturing, mining, and heavy industry. Those industries once provided steady wages and a clear path into the middle class. Today, they make up only a fraction of employment in advanced economies. Instead, growth has shifted towards services, healthcare, education, and human resources fields, where women now make up the majority of workers. Research shows that for young people aged 16 to 24, women are often out-earning men by more than $2,000 a year on average. This is linked to higher female graduation rates and strong demand in expanding sectors like HR, which has grown several times over in just the past 15 years, with women holding most of the positions there. For young men without degrees, the picture looks very different. Wages in non-graduate jobs are less secure and opportunities are fewer, while many men still pursue STEM subjects like engineering and mathematics, which can lead to higher salaries. The overall employment trends are not moving in their favor. The family and role models, education and employment are just part of the story. Family structures have also shifted. In 1970, about 79% of children grew up living with both biological parents. Today, that number has fallen to just 56%. Boys, research suggests, are hit especially hard by the absence of fathers. At home, many don't have a father figure. At school, most of their teachers are women, 85% at the primary level, 64% at the secondary level. This imbalance means boys often grow up without strong male role models. As one observer noted, today a young child is statistically more likely to own a smartphone than to have a father living at home. Crime, violence, and social media. Social media has reshaped how young people see the world, and not always for the better. A report revealed that 91% of young people who committed acts of violence had recently been exposed to violent content online. Knife crime is one of the clearest examples. Young men are both the main perpetrators and the main victims. 90% of knife crime victims are male, and yet the way men are portrayed in popular media often makes empathy harder. Watch a TV drama like Happy Valley, and most male characters appear criminal, alcoholic, or deeply troubled. These stereotypes reinforce negative perceptions of men. But here's the paradox. While men still hold many of the top positions in politics and business, there's a growing underclass of disconnected young men who feel left behind. The gender pay gap. It's true that men, on average, still earn more than women, but the context matters. The largest gaps appear later in life, often after women step back from work during child-rearing years, which limits their chances for promotions and senior positions. At the very top, men continue to dominate across global corporations and the wealthiest income brackets. The majority of CEOs and billionaires are male. This concentration of wealth and leadership can make it look as though men are universally thriving. But the reality for many young men is the opposite. With educational gaps widening and job markets shifting towards sectors where women are thriving, early career earnings for men often fall behind their female peers. The result is a two-tier system. Elite men are advancing, but ordinary young men are struggling to keep pace. Health and mental well-being. The mental health crisis is hitting young people everywhere, but it plays out differently for boys and girls. Among boys ages 3 to 17, 28% have a mental, emotional, behavioral, or developmental problem, compared with 23% of girls, according to the Child and Adolescent Health Measurement Initiative. Boys are also about twice as likely to be diagnosed with ADHD or autism, though experts warn that girls are often underdiagnosed because their symptoms can look different. For girls, anxiety and depression are more common, but boys often struggle in ways that show up through behavior. Nearly 2/3 of teens told Pew Research Center that boys are more disruptive in class, while just 4% said the same about girls. Yet disruption often masks deeper problems. The most chilling data is around suicide. In 2023, the suicide rate for young men ages 15 to 24 was 21 per 100,000, nearly double what it was in 1968. Social isolation and dating dynamics. Economic shifts also affect relationships. Surveys show that about 75% of women prioritize economic stability when choosing a partner, compared to only 25% of men. This matters because it leaves many young men struggling to meet expectations. According to Scott Galloway, only 1 in 3 men under 30 has a girlfriend, while 2/3 of women the same age are partnered. How is that possible? Many younger women are dating older men who have greater financial security, leaving a growing pool of young men without partners. This isn't just about dating, it's about identity. In the past, men often found belonging through religion, unions, stable jobs, or marriage. Those structures have weakened, leaving isolation in their place. The digital world and toxic influencers. Isolation pushes many young men online, where they encounter new role models. Some of these are positive, but others are highly controversial. Algorithms on platforms like YouTube and TikTok push users toward extreme voices, creating echo chambers. Andrew Tate, a self-described misogynist, became the most Googled person in the world in recent years. His rapid rise reflects both the power of social media and the hunger many young men feel for a sense of belonging. But critics argue that these toxic influencers often exploit frustration and channel it into harmful worldviews. Are things really worse for men? It's important not to exaggerate. In some ways, men today have more freedom and opportunity than their grandfathers. A young man born into a coal mining village decades ago had few choices. Today, a young man who doesn't want to study can still do well in vocational trades like plumbing, often earning more than a graduate with $50,000 in student debt and a degree in humanities. There's also more openness around mental health. The old stiff upper lip culture has faded, and young men are increasingly encouraged to talk about their struggles. These are positive changes, but the combined forces of economic change, shifting education patterns, declining family stability, and the rise of social media have created a unique set of challenges for this generation of men. Many feel disconnected, isolated, and left without clear direction. A larger social question. This story isn't just about men. Declining male participation in education and work affects whole societies. It contributes to lower birth rates, strained welfare systems, and political polarization. And while men at the top still thrive, growing inequality leaves many behind. So, are young men really falling behind? The evidence points to yes. Education gaps start early. Wage gaps at the bottom are turning against men. Family structures have shifted, and social isolation is rising ad and poor health outcomes, and toxic online influences, and the picture becomes hard to ignore. But acknowledging the problem is the first step toward finding solutions. What do you think are young men facing a real crisis? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more deep dives, make sure to like, share, and subscribe.